Hello out there, you're welcome to NT News Extra, the news belt that brings you the extra from news happenings around you. Tonight it is not difficult to guess the trendiest story in the country, Budget 2018. Yes, it's been a center too. But I can tell you, Mr. President is not happy. The judiciary is being strengthened with the appointment of justices and judges. That too is on tonight. And as 2019 beckons more support, gear up, participate in infrastructure development, security, and guess what? Today is World Refugee Day. What hope for IDPs? Human trafficking and illegal migration. If you stay here, you will get it here. Ramadan is over. How are those who fasted going back to their normal eating schedules? We'll tell you about that. Well, it's news extra, and it's truly extra, with some business news, foreign tidbits, the World Cup update, and more. So just sit back, lend me your ears, and let's do it together. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, and this is News Extra. We begin with the story of the day. Over 9.1 trillion naira is now available for expenditure by the federal government this fiscal year in furtherance of Nigeria's socio-economic development enterprise. This follows the signing of the 2018 Budget of Consolidation 7 months after its presentation to the National Assembly. President Buhari, who performed the constitutional duty, however, raised concerns over significant reductions in the allocations made for critical projects and provisions made for others, contrary to the philosophy and direction of his administration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has more.
President Muhammadu Buhari performing a constitutional duty long awaited by Nigerians in order to avoid a government shutdown. In doing so, however, the Nigerian leader was full of regrets and lamentations. He said the intention of his administration to use the 2018 appropriation bill to consolidate the achievements of previous budgets and deliver on the economic recovery and growth plan has not been given much regard with the changes made to the nation's financial document by the National Assembly.
The National Assembly made cuts amounting to 347 billion naira in the allocation to 4,700 projects submitted to them for consideration and introduced 6,403 projects of their own amounting to 578 billion naira. Many of the projects cut are critical and may be difficult, if not impossible, to implement with the reduced allocation. Some of the new projects inserted by the National Assembly have not been properly conceptualized, designed, and costed, and will therefore be difficult to execute. Furthermore, many of these new projects introduced by the National Assembly have been added to the budgets of most ministries, departments, and agencies with no consideration for institutional capacity to execute them or the incremental recurrent expenditure that may be required.
The president enumerated the projects from which cuts were made to include Mambila Power Project, Second Niger Bridge Ancillary Roads, East-West and Boni-Bodo Roads, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Itakwe-Ajakuta Rail Project, as well as ongoing critical infrastructure projects in the FCT, especially arterial roads and the mass transit rail project. Others affected are various strategic interventions in the health sector, security, national housing program, pensions, minimum wage, key industrialization initiatives, terminal building at Enugu International Airport and Maritime University in Delta State.
Another area of concern is the increase by the National Assembly of the provisions for statutory transfers by an aggregate are for recurrent expenditure at a time we are trying to keep down the cost of governance of the National Assembly itself, which has increased by 14.5 billion naira from 125 billion naira to 139.5 billion naira without any discussion with the executive. About 70 new road projects have been inserted into the budget of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing. Regrettably, however, in order to make provision for some of the new roads, the amounts allocated to some strategic major roads have been cut by the National Assembly.
The observations notwithstanding, President Buhari was emphatic that he decided to sign the budget so as not to further slow down the pace of recovery of the nation's economy, which he said has already been affected by the delay in passing the financial document.
However, it is my intention to seek to remedy some of those critical of these issues through a supplementary and/or amendment budget, which I hope the National Assembly will be able to expeditiously consider.
Deputy Senate Leader Bala Ibn Na'Allah and the Chief Whip of the House of Representatives Alhassan Ado Doguwa represented Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker Yakubu Dogara at the budget signing ceremony.
Nigerians should be happy that we have formally have a budget to run for 2018, and it has been signed today. And then the president had made it clear that it's going to be a build-up on the achievements so far recorded by this administration in impacting positively on the lives of Nigerians. I think this should be what Nigerians should be happy about.
A lot of us in the National Assembly, in both the chambers, I want to assure you, have tremendous respect for Mr. President. We have also, we cherish his moral integrity as a leader, and I want to believe we will always play in tune to his expectations to make him be able to deliver on the dividend of democracy like he has promised.
The 9.12 trillion naira 2018 budget of consolidation, the largest in the nation's history, is predicated on oil benchmark of $51 per barrel, a production of 2.3 million barrels per day, as well as an exchange rate of 305 naira to $1. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Many thanks, Adamu. And joining me now in the studio to shed more light on the budget is Professor Ken Ife, a development economist.
Thank you very much.
We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
Now, let's look at the time it took for the budget, to be processed. The time it was passed, leading to its attempt today. What's your take on it?
It's extraordinarily long. It took far too long. And I think the administration planned to return to January to December cycle. And to that effect, they had to deliver the budget at the end of, 7th of November to be precise, hoping that within the 2 months that they would turn it around. And that was not to be. But up until now, we have always blamed the National Assembly on budget delays, but it has actually come to light that there are two sides to that story.
Okay.
The officers of both houses at the end of February went to the president to say that, look, end of February, only 50% of the MDAs have defended their budget. And then the president had to react very quickly and gave 8 days ultimatum. So that tells you that there are two sides. But we could do better than what we are having at the moment. It's so unfair.
Okay, now, but the president, while assenting to the bill, complained of cuts in provisions for critical infrastructure and increases in areas not important to the people. Will you say this is healthy for smooth budget implementation?
I think the president has every reason to be sad and very angry for what happened. Okay. And I think I share a lot of that with him. The reason is this. We came to 2015, 2016, there was confusion in the land. And the only way we could move forward with all our development partners was to develop a plan. So we have a robust economic recovery and growth plan. And there was a buy-in. We believe that there was a buy-in. And then as a result of those, we have 6 policy areas and 60 policy actions. And then we had performance indicators, and they were locked down on the budget. So we expected this budget to be really a budget of consolidation to deliver those outputs. But to come and tear it down completely is something that needs to be reviewed. It is two sides to this story as it would unfold.
Okay. No, what options now are available, for the president if he wants to remedy the cuts in the budget?
First of all, for the last 7 years, I have always been writing to all the presidents and vice and both houses of assembly, telling them, please let us go to quietly, in a gentle way, go to the Supreme Court to make a determination as to the extent to which the assembly can deconstruct the budget. But they don't have the stomach to do this, so they continue the horse trading. But I tell you something that I found out in the course of the day investigating. I found out that we're actually running two governments, in the sense that the National Assembly feels that they own the legitimacy in terms of a bottom-up budgetary process, that the constituents come to them, write to them, they debate it, and they decide where they want to go. And that there's a top-down process led by the government, that the PAMSEC or directors sit on the table and decide what projects. And when it comes to them, they are lopsided, they are not equitable, they are not due. So there are that tension. And we've got to come to the end, we have to come to the end of that road. They're making sure that both parties talk to themselves to have a buy-in. So one, I would expect that the National Assembly would be heavily involved in the planning process, especially in the strategy formulation of the EIGP and in the budgeting process. And actually, some of the people in the National Assembly feel that all the House committees of the relevant MDAs ought to get involved ab initio, so that there is that coming forward. So their buy-in should be at that level before it hits their table with a draft budget. So that is where we'll close the gap. But otherwise, it is getting very, very nasty.
Wouldn't that
very, very
make
nasty
it
indeed.
even take longer?
It will take longer, but I think I appreciate the magnanimity of the president, because we've got to get going. The assembly, the election is very soon. So let's keep going. But in the budget review, he could bring back all the projects that they threw away. But I tell you, there was another issue that I raised. I said, despite all you are telling me, why did you have to cut down the budget for the refurbishment of United Nations building? The news I got, that it should have been counterpart. That we should be doing counterpart rather than pay. It's unbelievable. So I said, if the woman wants to build for ECOWAS, you call it counterpart. If China wants to build something for us, you call it counterpart. But that is just how deep-seated the resentment is. But I think we need to work on both sides.
Now, finally, we've seen that both the president and then the National Assembly, they have expressed hope and desire, for a January to December fiscal budget cycle. How can this be achieved?
No, we need to get the buy-in of the National Assembly, because they're talking another language. What they say is different, absolutely different. And I think it's very desirable, because the private sector we want to work with, the partners, most of our partners are in sync with the January to December cycle. So they've got to get, and the thing that disappoints me a bit is that we have fiscal strategy paper that goes out in advance to the Assembly. We have medium-term educational framework that goes out in advance to the Assembly. So there was ample time for them to see how, and there is a living document that guides all the things the executive was putting forward. So I think they've got to move closer so that we can close the gap.
Well, thank you very much for sharing with us your insight of the 2018 budget. I've been speaking with Professor Ken Ife. He is a development economist. In the meantime, the House of Representatives has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing the 2018 appropriation bill into law as sent to him. A statement by the chairman, House Committee on Media and Publicity, Abdulrazak Namdas, says the National Assembly is on the same page with President Muhammadu Buhari in his desire to return the budget to the January-December cycle and call for quicker response time by MDAs to budget defense schedules. He says the House of Representatives welcomes the proposal of President Buhari to forward a supplementary budget to the National Assembly to address other areas of pressing demands. And Nigerians have been reacting to the budget signed into law this Wednesday with some saying it will give a boost to social indicators of citizens. Leah Katung Babatunde has been speaking to experts on anticipations and outlooks for the year.
It was a long wait that climaxed this Wednesday, halfway through the year. For a vast majority, it is better late than never. The budget means to consolidate on achievements of previous budgets and also to deliver Nigeria's economic recovery and growth plan. Government had assured that once the budget was passed, cashbacks and releases would be effective.
You back and release. What happens is a trickle-down effect. I tell you, go to anywhere they're doing a construction, a road construction, for example. When you go there, the first thing you see women carrying kunu, nunu, kunu, akara, and what have you.
The National Assembly increased the estimates by 508 billion naira to 9 trillion naira when they passed it last month.
Healthcare facilities at the community level are very, very important. Support to our farmers to be able to produce food is important. Rural access road is also very, very important. Then mass housing is critical for this country.
The signing of the budget by President Buhari, experts believe, will not only sustain the growth recorded, but also build on the gains of the 2017 appropriation, where a staggering sum of 1.4 trillion naira was released to MDAs for capital, a development that has seen increased activities in all sectors of the economy. In Abuja, I'm Leah Katung Babatunde, NTA News.
And still on the 2018 budget, financial experts have described the signing of the 2018 budget into law as a means of signaling increase in economic activities, just as the all-share index of the capital market extends its losing streak by 0.15%. Let's now join Abolade Salami for details of this and more on our business news segment.
Offer the unique.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on the business news segment. With the signing of the 2018 budget valued at 9.12 trillion naira by President Muhammadu Buhari for the 2018 fiscal year, the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, said the policies of the government, which is aimed at transforming the nation's treasury, are yielding significant results and entrenching fiscal transparency.
We believe we are living in a dynamic world. We believe we are living in a world that necessitates changes in our processes, in our appearances, and in the way and manner we conduct our businesses.
Speaking in the same vein on the tremendous achievement recorded by the government in capital expenditure during 2017 fiscal year, President, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Uche Olowu, believes that the 2018 budget, which is 22.6% higher than the 2017 budget, will focus more on the development of infrastructural projects.
One good thing about this government is that releases are cash backed. If you look at it, there has been an increase in the capital expenditure, and that means that because what happens is that you realize the fact that for our own client, you want to jumpstart the economic activities, the welfare of the people, you need to provide infrastructure. And capital expenditure is, showing some uptick, and which is very, very good for the economy.
And away from the budget to other financial matters, the Central Bank of Nigeria has injected the sum of $210 million into the forex market. The Apex Bank, in its quest to meet customers' need in the various segments of the market, offered the sum of $100 million to the authorized dealers in the wholesale segment, while the small and medium-scale enterprises got the sum of $55 million. Now let's see how stocks were traded on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today.
The equities market extended its losing streak as the all-share index dipped by 0.15% to close at 38,605.07 basis points, with a volume of shares worth 267 million naira, valued at 3.8 billion naira, which was traded in 4,786 deals in a market capitalization of 13.9 trillion naira. Fort Oil with 65 naira gain led the table, followed by Eternal, which appreciated by 59 kobo, while Seplat with 37 naira 7 kobo loss led the losers table.
Stock Market Report concludes business news segment. News Extra continues shortly. Please stay with us.
And away from the 2018 budget, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, has told the nation's judicial officers to remain courageous in the performance of their judicial duties. He made the call at the swearing-in of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Abdul Kafarati. Judicial correspondent Femi Okewo has that report.
Justice Abdul Aminu Kafarati, who hails from Gombe State, was recently cleared by the Senate after his recommendation by the National Judicial Council, NJC, to the President. He first acted for about 6 months after taking over from Justice Ibrahim Auta. And now he becomes the 9th Chief Judge of the Federal High Court since the court was established in 1973. Administering his oath of office at the Supreme Court, Chief Justice of Nigeria called on Justice Kafarati to remain focused on the task ahead. He called on judicial officers across the country to allow the law guide their judicial decisions.
The judiciary remains the only hope. And the judiciary cannot do that without adherence and guidance by the Constitution. Let us be guided by the Constitution. That is let the rule of law reign freely. With it, justice will flow.
Speaking with NTA News, the new Chief Judge hoped for greater stability in the administration of the Federal High Court.
Well, we are up to the task, and I will try as much as possible to build upon what my predecessor did.
With the swearing-in of Justice Abdul Kafarati as the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, all expectations are now on the list of judges of the Federal High Court, which the National Judicial Council has since recommended for appointment. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of 28 judicial officers for the Court of Appeal, Federal High Court, and the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory on the recommendation of the National Judicial Council. For the Court of Appeal, 12 justices have been approved, while 9 judges are approved for the Federal High Court. The President also approved 7 judges for the High Court of the FCT. A statement released by the Director of Information National Judicial Council, Soji Oye, says the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Onogen, will swear in the justices of the Court of Appeal on Friday, the 22nd of June. Those appointed for the High Court will be sworn in on Monday, the 25th of June, while judges appointed for the High Court of the FCT are to be sworn in on Tuesday, the 26th. In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration would remain unshaken in its resolve towards rapidly developing Nigeria, devoid of ethnic, religious, and geographical considerations. The president gave the assurance at an audience with the visiting Grand Khalifa of Tijaniya movement, Sheikh Ahmad Ibrahim Inyas. State House correspondent Adam Sambu has the details.
Acknowledging the overwhelming support of Nigerians as well as their confidence in him, President Muhammadu Buhari said his administration will not shirk its responsibility in providing for their welfare, well-being, and security across ethnicity and religion. He thanked the highly revered religious leader for regarding Nigeria's unity, stability, and prosperity as prayer point for the Tijaniya movement. President Buhari reiterated his commitment to the good of all Nigerians, even as he underscored the importance of the religious group in promoting good governance in the country. The Grand Khalifa of Tijaniya, Sheikh Ahmed Ibrahim Inyas, had commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his selflessness in service to the nation and humanity. More than 40 million members of the Tijaniya movement, he said, are praying for his success, having been chosen by the Almighty Allah to lead at this point towards actualizing the dream of a greater Nigeria. Sheikh Ahmed Inyas is in Nigeria to commiserate with the family of the late Sheikh Ishaq Rabiu, whom he described as a great nationalist dedicated to knowledge, Islam, and prosperity of the country. Prayers were offered for Nigeria as well as the good health, wisdom, strength, and success for President Muhammadu Buhari. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Southeast Council of India's backs President Buhari for re-election as women gear up for greater roles in 2019. The details of this and more when we come back after these messages.
From the 21st to the 23rd of June 2018, more than 300 of the world's influential media commentators will converge on Abuja, Nigeria, as the International Press Institute holds its World Congress in Nigeria for the very first time. Expected dignitaries include 4 African presidents and participants from 150 nations to deliberate on the theme,
Why Good Journalism Matters, Quality Media for Strong Societies.
President Muhammadu Buhari will deliver the opening address at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, and IPI World Congress Organizing Committee Chairman Nduka Obaigbena welcome IPI Executive Board Chairman John Yearwood, Executive Director Barbara Triumphi, and all delegates to the IPI World Congress 2018. Tony O. Iradia, Chairman, Media and Publicity Committee, Announcer.
All aspirants to party positions in the forthcoming National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, APC, are to meet with the Chairman, National Convention Planning Committee on Thursday, 21st June 2018. Time 4 p.m. Venue, National Convention Secretariat, Casa de Lucy, Plot 588, David Jemi Benwa Crescent, Apo, Abuja. Be punctual. Senator Victor Undoma Egba, CON, Secretary, National Convention Planning Committee, Announcer.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
It is a statement of fact and necessary that women involvement in politics has further influenced the functionality of our democracy effectively. There is a woman. She is strong, focused, and enthusiastic about unifying women nationally and in the diaspora.
Current realities dictate that a time has come to amplify the voices and presence of women in our political space. Together, we are stronger.
With the right force to sustain women efficiently in the political space of our great party, she will 100% amplify women's voices, with no doubt increase participation in politics of our great party. Together, we can make our party and our country better.
My quest for the leadership of the APC women in Nigeria and in diaspora is born out of my passion to serve.
Vote Hajia Salamatu Beywa for the office of National Woman Leader, APC, All Progressives Congress Party.
This is to inform CBN retirees that exited the bank service under defined contributory pension scheme from 1st July 2011 to date and served the bank for 10 years and above, that a health count data collection exercise will hold between 25th June to 3rd July 2018 at the CBN Head Office in Abuja, HR Liaison Office, CBN Lagos, and selected CBN branches. The DC retirees are required to come along with the following items: retirees' identity card, one recent passport-sized photograph, letter of employment, exit letter, contact, address and telephone number, name, address, telephone number and full contact details of their next of kin, bank verification number, new bank, account number, bank name, PFA or RSA PIN. The specific date for the exercise in each location is as indicated in the schedule. Management Announcer.
The Honorable Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Udoma Udoma, hereby invites all heads of federal government ministries, departments and agencies, representatives of states and local governments, private sector operators and associations, captains of industry, civil society organizations, all media practitioners, and other relevant stakeholders to a public Thursday, 21st June 2018. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue, Rotunda Conference Hall. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abuja. Announcer, Ben Akabweze, Director General, Budget Office of the Federation.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
We're glad to have you join us again on NTA News Extra tonight. Now, there is this adage that says, one good turn deserves another. Nigeria's ever-vibrant political arena has changed that axiom to one good term deserves another. And that is what the Southeast Council of Indieze seems to be saying as it reaffirms support to President Muhammadu Buhari for a second term in office. The council, at its meeting held in Okigwe, believes that the recent declaration of June 12 as the national holiday and honor bestowed on Chief MKO Abiola by the president will hasten national integration and cohesion.
The spokesperson of the council, Dr. Oliver Ohanwe, said that the president's action has vindicated their support for his re-election and reaffirmed their call for Nigerians to give President Buhari a second chance in 2019. Had at their meeting on April 25, 2018 in Imo State endorsed Buhari's 2019 presidential re-election bid, making them the first traditional rulers to do so. Eze Oliver Ohanwe, the Ezeburuburu one of Ihim Kingdom in Imo State, said that since the annulment, there have been clamor for the validation of that election, which had been largely seen as the freest and fairest election in Nigeria. No president in Nigeria had had the gut to do the needful, adding that the recent declaration by the president symbolizes a new chapter of national rebirth, unity, transformation, national interrogation, and cohesion has been opened. The traditional rulers said that their support for Buhari in 2019 remains unshakable. Stated that what remains now is for the president to come out with same joker that would assuage Ndibo and lay the ghost of the civil war to rest forever. Ifani Ezumba, NT News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has reassured Nigerians of President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to improving the standard of living and securing lives and property of the citizenry. Professor Osinbajo stated this during a meeting with top members of the Ekiti State Council of Traditional Rulers in Ado-Ekiti. Kola Adebobuyi has that report.
Vice President Osinbajo, who was in the palace of Iwe of Ado-Ekiti, the venue of the meeting with the traditional rulers in company of the All Progressive Congress candidates in the July governorship election in Ekiti, having identified the role of the monarch in maintaining peace in their domains as the state prepares for the crucial gubernatorial election. Professor Osinbajo, who described as impactful and beneficial to the people of Ekiti State, various federal government projects and programs such as Empower, microcredit, conditional cash transfer to better the lots of Ekiti citizens. He told the traditional rulers that the governorship candidate of the APC, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, a serious-minded intellectual, can manage the economy of the state successfully based on his track records as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and one-time governor of Ekiti State, and pledged the commitment of President Buhari's administration to protect lives and property of Nigerians.
Beginning with the Empower program, which is a program for the employment of young graduates, we have here in this state 3,339 young graduates who are employed under that scheme and paid for by the federal government of Nigeria. First, to pay my respects to your Royal Majesty and to our royal fathers, and also to introduce again and reintroduce your son to you.
The chairman of the State Council of Traditional Rulers, Oba Oluwole Ademolaju, who commended the federal government's efforts at improving the well-being of Nigerians, appealed to government to provide necessary measures to achieve peaceful and credible governorship election in Ado-Ekiti. Kola Adebobuyi, NT News.
The active participation of women in line with the Vision 2063 agenda of the African Union was on the front burner at a zonal workshop on enhancing women's participation in the continuous voter registration and collection of permanent voter cards. Timothy Yusuf reports that the event, which held in Abuja, was organized by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
Global statistics for gender parity indicate that Nigeria ranked 118th out of 192 countries in the Human Development Index in gender in 2017. Experts believe that a lot still needs to be done by stakeholders to ensure that the situation improves during the 2019 general elections. One of the strategies for ensuring improvement, according to stakeholders, is for women to register and collect their permanent voter cards. The convergence of members of these civil society organizations from the north-central geopolitical zone of the country is to further sensitize the women folk in this direction.
The permanent voters card. Keep it safe so that you do what with it? You vote.
We are at this moment walking the talk, ensuring that women go out there. Women are young women, 18 and above, should go out there, register, have their voters card.
INEC National Commissioner in charge of election and party monitoring, Antonia Simbine, noted that since the commencement of the continuous nationwide voter registration exercise on the 27th of April 2017, over 7 million Nigerians have been registered.
The gender distribution of fresh registrants, according to the Commission's CVR report, for the first quarter of 2018 stood at 1.3 million for women and 1.5 for men. We have more men.
With seminars of this nature, awareness could be created more so that the participation will be more.
While lauding the European Center for Electoral Support for partnering INEC in the sensitization program, the National Commissioner reaffirmed INEC's readiness to engage critical stakeholders at various levels to secure support to incorporate gender issues into the electoral process in Nigeria. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
Well, time was when Nigeria's economy was booming. Nation. Well, this was hampered by many factors. Interestingly, there is a ray of hope with reforms and stringent measures taken to blockade leakages, yielding results in growing the economy. These are therefore thumbs up to pointers of industrialization with the accelerated economic growth, especially in the last 3 years. Views corroborated by discussants on NTA's current affairs program, Tuesday Live. It's over now to Talatu Ezirike for more.
Nigeria's recovery from economic downturn has been evident in the economic indices in the last 3 years, showing steady growth especially with policies and programs for advancement. The gains, many say, include Nigerians' foreign exchange reserves growth by $12 billion, holistic social investment programs, and stringent measures to block leakages, saving the country billions of dollars. Analysts strongly believe that reforms by the federal government saw Nigeria rise 24 places on the World Ease of Doing Business ranking, earning the country a place on the list of top 10 reforms in the world.
Nigeria has reached a stage whereby we are the ones now exporting not only food production, but even many other things that are not relevant to food, but they are related to production. For example, cotton. For example, ginger. Textile industries are coming back. People are now supporting the government more than ever before.
There's been an increase in the local sourcing of raw materials. In the past 18 months, we've seen the inflation rate drop from over 15% down to about 11%. And that is at least 4%. So this is not...
There are much more, especially with reports of increase in the number of micro, small and medium enterprises in growing the nation's gross domestic product, GDP.
CBN has a strategic trust on SME finance. They've done the SME startup, they've done SME intervention funds, they've migrated to have SME financial window, forex window, and then they're now going to China, Nigeria, swap. All of these are part of a country strategy to deliver access to finance.
It is generally agreed that the right attitude, synergy and cooperation will bring about the desired result in consolidating on the economic gains. Talati Izarike, NTA News.
And turning to commerce. Kano, a major commercial hub in the sub-Saharan Africa, has for centuries been famous in trading activities that attracted people from various parts of the world. Fatima Sunusik Arai, however, reports that one of the famous markets in the ancient city is facing doom if a very disturbing trend is not stopped in its track.
Since the trans-Saharan era, Kano has always been known for its many markets that are famous for offering a variety of products, which for centuries attracted traders and buyers from across Nigeria and West African Sahel region. One of these markets is the famous Kantunkwari Textile Market, which has more than 10,000 shops and thousands of stalls with a daily turnover of billions of naira. Kantunkwari Market has a global feel, as the textile offer are a mixture of locally produced and foreign, and it is filled with buyers and sellers.
Some people are coming from even outside the country to Kano to purchase goods or service.
We get our major customer from Lagos, Taraba, Kogi.
I'm from Ibadan. I won't come buy hijab.
25-year-old Noura Mohammed, who holds master's degree in pipeline engineering and speaks 3 international languages, is one of the proud traders of the market. His 5 shops has 54
to create more jobs for the people.
However, the market is facing some challenges as local producers struggle to match cheap textile imports. Worst hit are the producers of traditional fabrics, who for centuries held sway but are having it tough as buyers have switched to less expensive Chinese manufactured materials. Observers and traders are worried that unless proactive measures are taken, this once booming historic market will not only lose its identity but turn the likes of Noura from being employees of labor to job seekers. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Garai, NTA News.
Dangote Cement PLC has declared a dividend per share of 10 naira 50 kobo for the year ended 31st December 2017. This figure represents a 32% increase in earnings despite a 70% dip in sales volume. The chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, stated this at the company's annual general meeting, while also reporting increased revenue earnings to the tune of 805.6 billion naira. Dotu Ogunyemi has the details.
With an annual production capacity of 45.6 million metric tons,
Dangote Cement has registered its presence in 10 countries as the largest cement producer in sub-Saharan Africa. Aside from its commitments to quality, the company has also delivered increased dividends to its shareholders. Describing 2017 as the company's best ever year, Alhaji Aliko Dangote gave details of the company's operations across Africa.
Because of the recession that we entered in the country, which is, which actually affected all companies. So that is the reason why we had December. Our volumes have actually bounced back, and by the grace of God, we will do much better than last year, this year.
Dangote Cement, with over 40,000 shareholders, has continually expanded its operations to the delight of its shareholders.
I commend Dangote Cement for paying us 10 naira 50 kobo, because last year they give us 8 naira 50 kobo. So by increasing 2 naira additional is a wonderful achievement.
The revenues actually rose by 31% to 805 billion naira.
We want a situation whereby the cement can come down, but if we put Dangote Cement side by side other cement companies, you will know they're operating at the same level.
The annual general meeting, which is the 9th of its kind, saw the appointment of 4 new board members, including wife of former British Prime Minister Jerry Blair, and re-election of the company's directors. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
If the investment opportunities occasioned by Nigeria's economic diversification are earnest, the underemployed and unemployed population of youths will reduce drastically. At a mentorship workshop for budding entrepreneurs organized by Iconic Nigeria and the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, profitable business ideas were presented to young participants in Lagos. Amaka Owo was there. And now reports.
Reports by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics in 2017 reveal that the unemployment rate in the country stands at 18.2%. These, among other factors, necessitated the workshop by Iconic Nigeria and the Nigerian Television Authority to provide a meeting point tagged the Graduate Workshop for mentoring and providing access to funding as well as employment opportunity for unemployed graduates and the underemployed.
The graduates can become open-minded, can learn, things, character traits of how to improve themselves, learn about investment opportunities,
which accounts for 2/3 of the world assets, and tap into potentials of dairy industry, which is currently ignored, given that the nation currently spends about $2 billion annually on the importation of milk.
We need to create jobs all over the country.
There's no formal dairy sector in Nigeria. There are small-scale farmers. There are some in the north, but most of them are unorganized.
Opportunities that are found in the oil and gas sector, especially renewables, IT, and modern retail chain of doing business were also brought to the fore.
If we have refineries working at full capacities in this country and we are able to refine our products, we have the market for the products. And then you can produce some polymers which you can use for plastics and other derivatives.
Chukwunoso Onovo and Chiamaka Rachel, who are school leavers in search of jobs, are optimistic that they are better informed. With 48 participants, organizers of the program say the program will encourage and provide access to funding for youths with entrepreneurial drive. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Well, hoping to own your own house? Watch out for the next segment of News Extra as our story on housing initiatives of the federal government gives you an idea of how. We'll be right back.
The Honorable Minister of Defense, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Mansur Muhammad and Ali, welcomes Ministers of Defense and delegates from Community of Sahel-Saharan States to the 7th meeting of CENSAD, taking place from 21st to 22nd June 2018. Venue, Congress Hall, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Time, 1 p.m. prompt. Mrs. Nuratu Batagarawa, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Defense, announcer.
Time don't
reach again for the biggest event for top football matter. Now Mobile Pill and Win. And as millions of people around the world they scatter their head on top their favorite teams, Mobile won't make sure say you go hammer your own trophy big time. Whether you be mechanic, driver, even car owner. Now Mobile Pill and Win. Just buy the 4-liter size of Mobile Super 1000 lubricant. Peel the front and back labels and you go see pin number. Text Mobile plus the pin to 58123 and instanta you go win airtime. That pin where you send so go also qualify you for the raffle draw for Mobile Pill and Win promo where you fit win tier rubber motor, generator, gas cooker, motorcycle, tricycle, smartphone and other prizes there. No be small, you know. Mobile promo go shele from the 15th of May go reach 31st of August 2018. The more mobile lubricant you buy, the more your chance to win. No dull yourself, oh. Make you dey feel, dey win, dey go. Terms and conditions dey shao.
Make it mobile.
Sedap Supreme Noodles, capturing the tasty goodness. It's the Sedap Supreme chicken essence that gives it the truly delicious chicken taste. With real chicken essence. Be Supreme, Nigeria.
I feel it, we feel it. Can you feel it? The Niger spirit. Do you feel it? Cause I feel it. We all feel it. The Niger spirit. We don't just feel it, we live it. And if you get it, you got the Niger spirit. This Niger spirit, we breathe it. Best believe it, real as my heart beat is. The Niger spirit, you can't beat it. So even when I lose, I am not defeated. We all breathe it, we all bleed it, we all we live it. Niger all the way.
Niger all the way.
When headache strikes, I remembered Mom's advice.
Son, don't let anything stop you.
Sudrex acts fast to relieve headaches. Sudrex, win your day.
When you wake up in the morning before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. For work and for play, for a great start to your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
We always start our day with a nourishing Kellogg's breakfast, powered with the goodness of grains and 11 essential vitamins and minerals. So in our family, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Welcome back. This is still News Extra. Now, for any growing population, shelter is always a key issue. Its availability or affordability. Fisayo Gunfuyi in this next report examines government's initiatives in the sector in terms of the tangibles of a viable housing economy.
Many say the economic impact and productivity of any growing nation is inextricably linked to the fundamental need for a stable form of shelter. In 1943, Abraham Maslow put shelter in the very first category of his much acclaimed theory on the hierarchy of needs, putting it alongside breathing, food, and water. Not much has changed since then, as humans continue to populate the planet, and this need is more poignantly felt here in Nigeria with our ever-increasing population. That explains significantly why government is investing directly or indirectly in projects such as this. The nation's need in this sector is huge and daunting, especially as plans for social housing over the years seem to have been warehoused rather than nurtured.
We are creating a program which, if we successfully implement, becomes the model for annual national housing intervention.
The National Housing Program under the current administration is already activated in 33 states, with construction nearing completion. 2,736 housing units have been built in this phase, with 54,680 people employed.
The government is doing the best for us, you see, so that we as indigenous contractors can now showcase what we can be able to do.
Every aspect of the project is scrutinized to minute details, with emphasis on the utilization of local materials as a show of confidence in Nigerian products.
Look at the door there. You see scenario door is locally made. When we talk of the material, we bought all our materials here, and it's Nigeria-made materials.
For the Nigerian worker, the exotic estates may be somewhat out of reach due to the prohibitive pricing by private developers, but there is a silver lining in the sky these days with a special program that ensures a home after years of toil.
We realized that the prices for these houses were still not within the range for civil servants. Therefore, the Ministry of Federal Capital Territory and the Federal Ministry of Power Works and Housing, especially, these two ministries especially, have written to us letters of guarantee to give us land and infrastructure at their own cost, at no cost.
A less cumbersome concept, and affordable mass housing a given rather than an aspiration, the steps taken in this direction could move the discourse from mere hope to more homes. In Abuja, Fisai Ogunfuyi, NTA News.
Now, the successful realization of the federal government's diversification program, we all know, is what involves both the private and public sectors of the economy, including professional bodies. Now, how can the surveyor contribute to this drive? Governor Muhammad Abdullahi Abubakar of Bauchi State reminded them about this responsibility. Bulak Afsa gives us the details.
The conference noted that land administration has been left at the mercy of land vendors who do not necessarily have professional inputs of surveyors, hence cannot provide proper surveying and mapping exercise. Governor of Bauchi State, Muhammad Abubakar, said surveying contributes largely to land reforms and they could collaborate with relevant stakeholders in harnessing the many benefits of the industry.
Investments in surveying such as this can contribute tremendously to the nation's quest for economic prosperity.
There is ongoing advocacy for conversion of land to capital as a means of increasing value.
Keynote speaker and former secretary to the government of the Federation, Mahmoud Yahya Ahmed, says the prestigious profession has a crucial role in resolving intra and inter-crises. Herdsmen-farmers clash because these crises are firmly rooted in land. Highlights of the occasion was a presentation of gifts to the governor. In Bauchi, Bulak Afsa, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has deployed a combat helicopter to its 207 Quick Response Group in Gusau. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesanya, indicates that the deployment of the weaponized EC-135 helicopter is part of efforts aimed at intensifying the fight against banditry in Zamfara State and environs. The helicopter would operate from the recently constructed helipads at the 207 Quick Response Group with a view to enhancing overall operational effectiveness. This development will avail the Nigerian Air Force the needed air support to the surface forces just deployed by the Defense Headquarters to tackle the security challenges in the state. Other NAF air assets, however, remain available on nearby alternative airfields to add impetus to air operations in the state. Now, imagine you are an internally displaced person. You have lost practically everything: home, means of livelihood, and probably some of your relations. Now you are putting up in a displaced person's camp with minimal provisions for your comfort. This scenario so far is pitiable enough, but that appears to be the beginning of problems for many IDPs in camps in the Northeast. But the National Human Rights Commission is saying it is now committed to the safety and protection of the IDPs through constant monitoring and reports on human rights abuses and other related issues. This is the assurance the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, made in Yola at a midterm review of its protection monitors, as Rayanu Bala now reports.
The midterm review Commission, in collaboration with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, is to assess the reports of protection monitors on protection issues relating to the population of concerns, especially the IDPs. This is to enable partners outline corrective measures as well as identify potentials for improvement in order to enhance the welfare and well-being of the displaced people. The Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, says the Commission will continue to ensure the goal of protecting human rights and providing the IDPs with humanitarian assistance is achieved.
The review is aimed at identifying the gaps, if any, in the implementation, especially from the monitoring and reports so far collected from the field.
Those persons whose rights have been violated, bring it to the fold and give them that support to realize their respect.
The midterm review meeting is also to compare notes with protection monitors in the insurgency-affected areas of Borno, Yobe and Adamawa State in order to address some of the problems faced by the IDPs. In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
Human trafficking and illegal migration curbing this ugly trend, the Edo style. Plus, the state of refugees as the world marks Refugee Day. That's the outlook when we return in just a moment. Join us
All
again.
aspirants to party positions in the forthcoming National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, APC, are to meet with the Chairman, National Convention Planning Committee on Thursday, 21st June 2018. Time 4 p.m. Venue, National Convention Secretariat, Casa de Lucy, Plot 588, David Jemi Benwa Crescent, Apo, Abuja. Be punctual. Senator Victor Undoma Egba, CON, Secretary, National Convention Planning Committee, Announcer.
Buy Niger, now for you and me.
In partnership with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, and NTA TV Enterprises, Seed Concept Limited presents BuyNiger.com. BuyNiger.com is a one-stop e-commerce portal and public procurement referral for made in Nigeria products and services. The portal is a unique platform designed to address some of the core challenges confronting local patronage and micro, small and medium enterprise development in Nigeria. To register your company, products and services on the portal, please call 080-7392-1111 or 080-7392-3333 or visit www.buyniger.com to grow and diversify our economy. Buy made in Nigeria. Buy Niger. Create jobs.
Nigeria will survive. Nigeria must not fail. It is time for us to buy made in Niger. Made in Niger.
Madam. Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three people.
You are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah?
Welcome.
You take that one.
Yeah, take that one.
You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Welcome back. The right of refugees globally is being advocated ahead of the 2018 World Refugees Day. To this end, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is seeking collaboration between relevant groups to achieve the desired results. Omenka Amarachuku has more on that report.
Records show that about 1.7 million Nigerians are internally displaced and more than 200,000 Nigerian nationals live as refugees in neighboring Chad, Niger and Cameroon. Most of these refugees live in abject poverty without basic needs of life, a development that needs the attention of all to address. Perhaps the theme of the 2018 World Refugee Day celebration will stand together with refugee and IDPs, the tonic needed to drive the desire to do more.
A different approach is required to tackle the challenges emanating from the refugees in Nigeria.
For internally displaced populations, there is no international legislation that actually provides for the rights of the internally displaced persons. There is only in Africa.
The emphasis on how best to promote peace, unity and harmonious coexistence in the African continent. In Abuja, Omenka Marchuku, NTA News.
For a while, the former Bendel state, now Edo and Delta states, was quite notorious for one thing: human trafficking, especially of young ladies to European countries. This problem, however, is not peculiar to that part of the country, but for Edo State, it is not just stopping the ugly trend, but rehabilitating the victims that have seen the light, made a U-turn, and returned home. The state government is also reaching out to international organizations to assist in curbing the trend. Goodluck Enaini briefs the better news that various groups and individuals are also contributing to end the menace.
Records have shown that in recent times, over 30,000 young men and women left Edo State for Europe via the perilous journey through war-torn Libya. Out of this number, over 300 are said to have died in the Mediterranean Sea, while a greater number of 3,000 returnees remain traumatized with tales of war and frustration.
And God save us, and God help us to come our land. So we appreciate our governor come rescue us.
It's God that saved us there. People are dying. I give thanks to God. God that bring me come to my country.
The state government's strategy in curbing the menace is anchored on 4 approaches, namely returnees management, reducing illegal migration, dealing with criminal gang who profit from the practice, and revamping the education system. In line with these strategies, the state government has put in place training centers where they can be trained in different vocations, in addition to monthly stipends for the period of 3 months, while the bill prohibiting the act has been signed into law. The Oba of Benin is also playing a huge role in this regard by also paying monthly stipends to the returnees.
Since I returned back, Baba didn't turn his back on me. He stood by me as a father.
All returnees say we appreciate him.
Governor Baseki, who described the visit of the Regional Director for West and Central Africa International Organization for Migration as timely, said the menace has reached an alarming stage and sued for an international conference to help develop a formidable approach against the menace.
And our goal is sometime in the summer or after the summer, we're going to Migration for Development, which we believe will be co-hosted with the Vice President's office.
Mr. Richard Tanzinga, who commended the state government for the proactive and strategic management of the menace, assured of his support and promise to play a major role in planning the international conference. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
As part of its commitment to improving the well-being of women and children, the Aisha Muhammadu Buhari Foundation, through its Future Assured program, is embarking on a 5-day training program for teachers and instructors of children with special needs. The program, which is currently taking place in Kuje area of Abuja, is in collaboration with the American non-governmental organization based in California known as NICA Project. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir has more on that.
Take a look at these children. They are the pupils of the Abuja School of the Handicapped, located at Kuje Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory. This category of children are referred to as special children with special needs according to educationists. And the reason is simple. They hardly talk or reason like normal children.
Kids with special needs learn differently. They require different tools in order to retain that knowledge, in order to learn successfully.
An effort to improving their quality of education and their living standard generally is what formed the combined effort of Future Assured Program and NICA Project. The program is aimed at actualizing a blueprint of the partnership between Aisha Muhammadu Buhari Foundation and the American-based NGO known as NICA Project. It is committed to impacting new techniques and teaching methodologies to aid the teachers while handling these special children.
How will we do that? We need experts. And these people from NICA Project are experts in this field. So when they approach us in collaboration, we believe it's at the right time and we should prepare the ground for them to come into the program.
The idea is to spread the knowledge to the teachers of special children across the country, taking School of the Children with Special Needs in Kuje as a pilot program. The essence, according to the global coordinator of NICA Project, Dan Phillips, is to provide repurposed technology and educational coaching to diverse learners to facilitate their job.
We hope that we leave behind an idea. We hope that we plant a seed of a new path of educating our kids, looking at different tools and looking at different ways to educate them.
The exercise is to train the trainer program, expected for all hands to be on deck to support it for the benefit of these children. In Abuja, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
Well, the Ramadan may have come and gone, but its memory will continue to linger for a very long time to come. Many food to eat. Well, for some, it's only 6 days after Ramadan, and this may be too long for some. But it's better late than never to sound the doctor's words of wisdom to those who would tend to rush at food to recoup lost meals with the intention of returning to normal life after the restriction of food consumption. From Lafia, Abigail Bashir tells us what to expect.
The fasting month of Ramadan is over, and sustaining its legacies of sacrifice is a challenge of the faithful. Another is resuming the normal life after the period of self-denials. On the important issue of post-Ramadan meals, are the people responding?
I have resumed my food intake as usual, but I have been adjusting gradually because I can't be able to take the food I've been taking before. Like rice, perhaps, maybe chips and others. As time goes on, I will include heavy food.
So I eat a lot of food, especially I eat apple here. In fact, one plate is not satisfying myself. I need more plates because Ramadan has finished. I can take like 2 plates or 3 plates at the same time. So.
For now, I've been chopped more than 3 times now.
According to investigation, meals rich in fiber, drinking enough water, and avoiding too much sugary treats are recommended. Although almost a week now after the Ramadan fast, it may not be out of place to heed the doctor's advice. Dr. Ruben Chuma of Delhatu Ara Specialist Hospital, Lafia, speaks on the way forward.
There could be some side effects from eating so much, and one of them is people coming down with diarrheal disease, acute diarrheal disease. I know after the holidays or after the celebrations, from so much eating, different combinations, people will start coming down with vomiting and diarrhea.
He reminds diabetic and hypertensive patients to always follow their doctor's instructions to stay healthy. Another important lesson that must remain relevant is that as you find the opportunity to eat, remember those who may need assistance in similar direction. From Lafia, Abigail Bashi, NTA News.
Well, I'm sure you agree with me that a word is enough for the wise. Moving on, urban migration has made the population in the city dense. So at every holiday, many city dwellers travel for the holiday. Their intention is to arrive safely, but due to rough road users and vehicle failure, accidents occur, which usually lead to loss of lives and property. For over 30 years, the Federal Road Safety Corps has been working to reduce crashes on the nation's roads. The Corps says the nation recorded about 11% decrease in road deaths during the 2018 Eid al-Fitr celebration. Debola Brooksland Sunday takes a look at this significant improvement in this next report.
Their achievement is attributed to the just concluded 2018 Special Salah Patrol between 13th and 18th of June this year. Statistics show that 51 deaths were recorded compared to 57 recorded during the same period last year.
In fact, some time ago, we had the largest number of vehicular support from Mr. President. That is in terms of provision of ambulances, provision of motorbikes, provision of patrol vehicles, and even tow trucks. It has not always been like this. And sensitization, advocacy, motorpark rallies, printing of leaflets, road safety messages everywhere, churches and mosques.
BC Kasim said 406 road traffic victims were rescued without injuries during the period. The Corps Public Education Officer also said the most prevalent offences were seatbelt use violation, with 1,615 offenders, and speed limit device violation offence committed by 785 commuters.
If you do not want to pay fines alone and get educated, and you want other means of punitive measure, then that is when you can commit such offences. I will not relent in asking people, in referring them to government hospital for us to properly check their emotional balance.
As a passenger, you have the right to caution the driver, and drivers should know that life has no duplicates. This is the message. Debola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Thank you, Adebola. Now, it is not every day that the chief executive of a state comes calling on an agency of the federal government. But when that agency shows commitment and acts in a manner that promotes the state, then what do you expect? So, it was not surprising when the Ogun State Governor, Ibikule Amusu, showed up at the NTA Abeokuta station. He did not only show up, but reiterated his commitment to supporting the NTA Abeokuta to meet its social responsibilities as a broadcast station. Lekon Agbonde tells us more about this visit.
It was a surprise visit by Governor Ibikule Amusu to the Ogbe premises of NTA Abeokuta. The governor, having gone round for a first-hand assessment of facilities at the 40-year-old station, was not happy with what is left of the station he last visited 16 years ago. Although NTA Abeokuta is a federal TV outfit, Governor Amusu promised to assist the station to regain its lost glory.
But I think both places need support. Dissemination of information, deepening of our democracy cannot be left just solely in the arms of probably one arm of government. So all of us should do our bit at all times. So to that extent, I will be supporting them. Indeed, I did even promise the DG that we will be supporting them. So we will quickly get our people to come again, to come and look at things and see how we can quickly assist them to put this place totally back to life. Yes, now life is gradually coming back, but we should do it, it should be well done. at least it should be what we call of Ogun standard. That we would do. And kudos to all the workers of this place.
The station's general manager, Fumi Wakama, expressed gratitude to the governor for his commitment and those of the management and staff to make NTA Abeokuta the station to beat in the world of television broadcasting.
Honestly, we need help. We had to, in the short time I've been here, we've tried to turn the place around, and I explained to her all that we've done in terms of our reach, in terms of improving the welfare of staff, little training that we can give to them, boosting their morale, trying to get work tools together for them, So I'm so glad that His Excellency has come here.
NTA Abeokuta operates from Ogbe and Okegunya, where the transmitting station is located. In Abeokuta, Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
Laying down one's life in the service of one's country and humanity is the noblest of acts. That is why members of the armed forces and the police, who daily pay the supreme price to guarantee our safety and the safety of our property, deserve not only honor, but our care of those they leave behind. This is why it is good to hear that the Nigeria Police Force, Zone 6, Calabar, has presented various sums of money to 32 beneficiaries of the officers who lost their lives in the line of duty. Achibong Basi tells us about that presentation.
Under the Nigeria Police Group Life Assurance Scheme and the Inspector General of Police Family Welfare Scheme, beneficiaries from Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and Rivers State Command were presented with various checks according to the rank of the deceased officer. Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 6, Mr. Usman Abubakar, who presented the check, said it is a duty of the Nigeria Police to ensure officers and their families are taken care of.
It's the duty of the Nigerian Police Force when you pass away during active service, the relations have to be taken care of.
It was an emotional moment for most of the beneficiaries. Responding on behalf of the beneficiaries, Noble Enoine commended the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, and his team for the gesture.
This check will at least go a long way to help us in taking care of my children.
Graciously appreciate the Nigerian police.
A minute's silence was observed in honor of the fallen heroes. In Calabar, Achibombasi, NTA News.
Well, we're not done yet. Hang on for the latest on the World Cup and other sports news after these messages.
From the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just my advice.
Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. May they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
We're glad to have you join us again on this last lap on News Extra tonight. When I join at Debola Brooklyn Sunday for news from other parts of the globe.